Hey YouTube, welcome to another video. In this episode, we'll continue to build advanced gen LAN. This is to bring this design almost up to par with new gen and next gen LAN designs. So in this episode, similar to last episode, I will also clarify a use case which I may have not fully articulated both in new gen LAN and next gen LAN. I will show the configurations about isolated VLAN, which is wired only, and secluded VLAN, which is Wi-Fi only. So let me switch my design so I can go through the use cases. This is the Advanced Gen LAN 2024.0301. In this version, I have already implemented the isolated VLAN and the secluded VLAN. As you can see here, in the previous episode, we have only covered this part of the VLANs. In this episode, I will just be focusing on the secluded VLAN and the isolated VLAN. So you can see that I have updated the tables so that you can see the differences or similarities of each VLANs based on their functionalities. What has also changed in this video is that I will cover the ACL that I did not really fully clarify on previous versions, like in the new gen LAN and in the next gen LAN. Let me start with the isolated VLAN first. So this one is relocated for the wired clients. The isolated VLAN is a VLAN that is used to complement the limitation of the guest VLAN, meaning the peers and neighbors cannot see each other. They only have internet access, which is for wireless devices only. However, if you apply the guest profile to any of the wired access switch ports, each device will be able to see each other. So the isolated VLAN is meant to address that. The implementation of this in a layer 3 switch is a little bit different from the way I implemented it using new gen LAN and next gen LAN. It's much simpler since we're only focusing on the switch and we're not really concerned about the gateway. As for the secluded VLAN, this is wireless only. This is to complement what's missing or lacking on the guest Wi-Fi, the granular access. Okay, so let's head on to the Omada console. So for the devices, these are the devices that I will be using for this episode. It looks a little bit different from the previous episodes because I limited the number of devices. I have ER605 version 1.0. It's really an OG hardware, really old. And I'm using SG3428 as my layer 3 switch. For the access point, I'm using EAP235. So I will not go through the details of each configuration of the setup because I already covered this in the previous episodes. However, one thing that I would like to mention is that I have recently upgraded my OC300 Omada platform controller to the latest one. So some of the options may look a little bit different if you haven't upgraded your system yet. For example, on this one for the internet, this one now have slider buttons for turning on and turning off internet interfaces. As you can see here, I have dual one. This one that I cannot turn off, it's always on. And this is one that I can make as a LAN port or a WAN port, which is currently set to one port at this time instead of a checkbox. Let me go to the LAN. Nothing has really changed in the LAN configuration. I only have one VLAN gateway interface. All the rest are layer 2 broadcast only VLANs. For the wireless networks, the only thing that has been added here is the secluded Wi-Fi. Secluded VLAN is wireless only. Nothing has changed on the transmissions, the profiles, and everything else. If you would like to know more details about those configurations, I highly suggest you watch the previous episodes. So let me go to the network security. We don't have any gateway ACLs. I mostly have switch ACL and EAP ACL in this episode. So let me go to the switch ACL. On the switch ACL starting from index 2 to index 9, these are all the ACLs that I have covered in the previous episode. For the EAP ACL, these ACLs, these are all new. One of them is just a dot for demonstration purpose. Okay, so let me go back to switch ACL. So when I posted the layer 3 switch video, I mentioned that there are certain nuances that I'm going to show for the isolated VLAN and the secluded Wi-Fi. For example, in this isolated VLAN, one thing that you will notice is that I only have one ACL. However, in the next gen LAN and the new gen LAN, I have more than one to implement the same thing, the same functionality, the same capability as this one. And this is because of the nuances of having inter-VLAN routing being done on the gateway versus inter-VLAN happening on the layer 3 switch. Let me just do a quick demo of the isolated VLAN. My earlier recording was corrupted, so I'm recording this part of the test for this particular video. So if you see the dates or anything that has changed, I have to redo this part of the video. Anyway, so for the isolated VLAN, I already have several workstations connected to it. I actually have two, 41.6 and 41.7. So let me launch them. And let's see. The ACL is currently off. Even if it's off, it should not have access to my admin VLAN. I'm 111. However, since there are no restrictions between peers and neighbors, they can see each other. So let me ping 192.168.41.6. So I'm pinging this machine and I'm going to ping the other one, 192.168.41.7. And you can see that I can ping without any problem between the two. Okay, so let me control break and let me control break. And let me do an SSH. There you go, you can see it get prompted, and that's another one. Let's do another one, SSH 5. And there you go, so control break. So my Pi zeros, this machines, Pi zeros, they have issues using the browser. So to demonstrate access to the internet, I'm just pinging google.com. Okay, so that's how it is for the isolated VLAN without any ACL. So let's implement our ACL now. And there you go. So this is a new pop-up every time you turn on your ACL. I'm not going to click don't show me again for the time being because I might forget this particular option in here that I would like to check out later on. So I'll just click OK, and let's see how it's behaving now. As you can see before, I didn't ping the internet, and I should still be able to ping the internet without any issue. However, what has changed is that now I cannot ping the peers and neighbors. So this one, I'll do that. And this one, let me ping the other one. As you can see, I cannot ping these neighbors. And of course, I cannot do SSH as well. So let's do SSH 14.6. And there you go. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the isolated VLAN demonstration and how the ACLs work. So now I'm going back to the regular programming of my original recording. So before we take a close look on this particular ACL, let me just show you some things that are interesting in this ACL. I'm using the IP port group 41 to define the VLAN 41 in here, and I denied it to this IP group. And this IP group is the same as this one. So you can see here, this one denies all the layer 2 broadcast only VLANs access to the network admin. IP port group 41, I denied to all the layer 2 broadcast only VLANs and to itself as well. So that's why the name of this VLAN is deny isolated to all and itself. If you compare that to the camera, you can see deny camera to all, only to all other VLANs. So if I open this up, you can see this one is camera, and you can see this one, the camera is not checked, but all the rest of the VLANs are checked. I cannot select this because if I select this, that means I will be selecting this one as well. But since this one is denied camera to all, I'm just denying camera to all the other VLANs. However, this one, the isolated VLAN, because of the nature of this isolation, I have to deny it to itself as well, so that it denies me access to the peers and neighbors. There you go. Okay, so now I'm going to the secluded Wi-Fi. So the secluded Wi-Fi is very similar to the isolated VLAN, except it has granular access. So you would think that the idea is that pretty much the same as the isolated VLAN, meaning if you do the same command, this exact same thing except for a different VLAN, and except that it's going to be applied in EAP, that you would end up having the same effect. But in actuality, it doesn't work that way with the wireless clients and with the access point. As you can see here, it says here error because this one is the wrong command. As you can see here, secluded group and the whole layer 2 broadcast only VLAN. This is pretty much the same as the isolated VLAN, except instead of IP group 51, I'm using IP group 41 in the isolated VLAN. So this one, see here. However, what's strange is that this one doesn't work. But first, before I demonstrate this, let me configure the clients first to show you that I'm connecting these wireless devices. So let me go to devices and let me just check the ports of these 13 and 15. So this, as you can see here, this is isolated VLAN. There you go, 13 and 15. So let me connect to the wireless clients to the secluded Wi-Fi. There you go, I'm connected to the secluded Wi-Fi. There you go. So as you can see here, every time I highlight this one, it's lighting up, meaning I have access to this one. And I'm already connected to the Wi-Fi. So let me just check the IP addresses. This one is 51.3. And this one, wireless LAN, is 51.2. Okay, so if you're looking at the mini screen, I'm removing these devices now. 13, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15. Okay, there we go. 13 and 15. 13 and 15. So if I refresh this, there you go, 13 and 15 are now gone. So meaning I should be disconnected here now. There you go. As you can see, there's no more interaction with the buttons here. It's not being highlighted because I'm now disconnected. There you go. So let me connect to the wireless. There you go. There you go. Okay, so this one is 51.2, this one is 51.3. So let me ping each other. 1.2 and ping 192.168.51.3. Go. So let me do an SSH just for kicks. And you can see that it prompted, meaning I can access it. There you go. Prompted, meaning that I can access it. Okay. Okay. So I will turn on the strong ACL. So you would think that this one will have the same effect as when we did that on the switch. However, for the wireless clients and the access point, it does work the same way. As you can see, I can still ping. Control C, and I can SSH. There you go. So basically, applying the same ACL on the access point doesn't work the same way as it should on the switch ACL. If this doesn't work, how can we get it to be working on the access point? So the answer is by using the built-in guest Wi-Fi system. First, let's isolate the peers and neighbors using the guest Wi-Fi settings. So let me just do a continuous ping so that I can show the result. it's currently doing continuous ping, and I will go to the wireless networks. So secluded Wi-Fi. So all I have to do is click guess and click apply. Click OK. So now I will lose access to these two. There you go. So later on it will get disconnected. So let's just wait for it to get disconnected. There you go. The other one has given up, and there you go. Let me do another VNC for the home, so I can test it out. So let me ping 192.168.51.2. That's good. How about 51.3? That's good. Can I SSH? Fine. Nope, I cannot. And nope, I cannot. So this one is in home VLAN 192.168.11.3, and I'm going to show the use case for all of this. And let's first address the first use case, which is allowing access from non-guest VLAN to the guest VLAN network. Let's do that. So this one will allow me to VNC to the secluded Wi-Fi. So this will allow me to continue the demonstration as well, which is good for this video. Otherwise, I will not be able to demonstrate that without switching cameras and switching machines. So let's go check that one out. And as you can see, this one has already given up pinging. So you can see here, the sequence 142, 143, 145, 146, it's not working anymore. So let's go here. Same thing here, it stopped at 158, 157. It says destination unreachable now. So destination unreachable because it cannot see its peers and neighbors. However, I gain full access to my VNC clients. There you go. So let me Control C here, and let me Control C here. Let me just check the home VLAN 168.101.11.3. So that's this one. Ping 192.168.11.3. I cannot access. Can I do SSH? I cannot. And I cannot. Of course, that is the normal functionality of the guest VLAN. However, in this video, I will show that you will be able to access the guest VLAN to and from a non-guest VLAN. I believe for the new gen LAN and the next gen LAN, I always only have one demonstration, and I might have not really explained it well in those two episodes, so I would like to take this opportunity to explain that you can do both ways. Similar way I did for the switch ACL, when I have demonstrated how to do the IoT access to and from another VLAN. Let's do this first. Permit SSH secluded to home, meaning this ACL will allow guest VLAN access to the home VLAN, but only through SSH. So let's do that. So we have tested this already. SSH doesn't work, and SSH doesn't work. So let me do this. SSH secluded. There you go. So it allows the guest clients to SSH to home. So let's do this. So let me try the same command, and there you go. Let me try the same command, and there you go. However, if I do that in the home VLAN 11.3, and I cannot do that, and I cannot do that. How about from home to the secluded Wi-Fi? So let's do that. I'll turn it on, and then I'll turn this off. So it's just one way. So this time around, I remove the capability to SSH. So if I do this now, it will not work anymore. So let's do that again. It's not working anymore. However, for the home, now it works. Let's just check the other one, 15.2, and there you go, it works. But let me control break. Let's turn it on both ways. If I turn it on both ways, meaning either home or guest can do SSH. There you go. There you go. And there you go. And again, if I turn it off, none of them can do SSH. And there you go. So that's the secluded Wi-Fi. So let's just review the settings. I'm just going to show the VNC in here just to make sure I cover everything. VNC is the same thing, secluded 51 and admin, and it's permit. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm overriding the hidden setting of the guest network. That's why I have it here. And the same thing for these two permits. This granular access, as you can see here, I have secluded group and I have SSH home 11, and then I have permit for the TCP. Okay, and last but not the least, this one, I have this SSH secluded 51 and directed to the home group. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you don't like this video, please give it a dislike. However, do let me know what you don't like in this video so that I can make those changes or improvements to the video. I don't think any other YouTube channel covers this type of configurations and this level of details. Subscription really helps the channel and it makes me want to do more. Thank you very much for watching my video. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you and bye bye.